is that your part in this script is huge. And there's tons of dialogue, and it's all you. It's all you. And it's saying, you're saying the most extraordinary, dramatic, wonderful, incredible things. And you see yourself, it's such a good script, you see yourself walking down that red carpet and getting the award. You know that this is the part you've been waiting for your lifetime. Yes, this is good. So one of the things that you would do as an actor in preparation for that is you would get into the mind of that character. You would say, how does this person think? What makes them tick? Why are they the way they are? What's going on? Now with that same passion, I want you to take that and bring that into your own life. Yes, little, ordinary, wonderful, humble you. Bring that into your own life and say, all right, if I'm a person who has healing in my life, if I am a person who does great things, if I'm a person who makes wonderful progress in every area of my life, if I have healed relationships, if I have an abundant consciousness, what's the kind of consciousness and the thinking that I have to do? What do I have to think on the inside? What's the character I need to create? What are the inner workings of that person? And I promise you, that person thinks about God instead. That person thinks about God instead.
Amen.
And so what does that sound like? Well, say to yourself, God is wholeness, God is love, God is wisdom, God is joy, God is abundance. God is present right where I am. I am all God. I am not the all of God, but I am all God. And God is infinite power, and God knows everything, and God, with God, all things are possible. And stay with that train of thought. Now I know you're not going to stay with it 24/7. 24 hours a day would be really hard, but you could do it for 2 minutes. Like we do in our meditation. 2 minutes of just staying in the consciousness. See, if you're thinking about your difficulty, you're not thinking about God. You can't think of two things at the same time. You're praying the problem. If you're thinking about your difficulty, you're telling the universe, the infinite universe that always says yes, hey, this is what I want more of. Is it? I hope not. No. See, you have to think about God and nothing else for just a couple of minutes a day, maybe 2 or 3 times a day. And it's your job to drive out all the thoughts of the problem, all those thoughts out of your consciousness for that period of time. That's your job. You want to become completely absorbed in the consideration of the spiritual world, so much so that you forget for a little while. You forget the trouble, the problem. So if somebody saw you, you know, sometimes you go into a room and you see somebody kind of just staring off into space and you think they're daydreaming. So it'd be like that. If somebody saw you, they'd be saying to you, hey, are you daydreaming? And you'd be saying, no, I'm thinking about God instead. And you really, really, really were. This is a profound, easy exercise that will transform your consciousness. I guarantee it. And you can golden key any situation in your life. You can golden key any person in your life. Drive the situation or the person out of your mind and think about God instead. Because I don't know about you, maybe I'm the only one, I don't think so, but maybe I'm the only one that has people move into my mind and set up camp. People that I wish would not be there. You can use it on all people. And I'm not saying that we're manipulating. We are not trying to manipulate somebody else's behavior. Do not hear that. We are not trying to manipulate that. There is no mental manipulation here. It's just something that you can do several times a day, because what you focus on, the presence of God in my life, what you focus on increases. And then once you've sat, say for your 2 or 3 minutes, then drop it. Drop it till the next time. It may be a few hours later, and you find yourself starting to think about the problem again. And you're kind of obsessing, you know? And you're thinking, oh, I should call somebody. So catch yourself. And say, no, I don't want to do that. I'll think about God instead for 2 minutes. I'm asking you to do this for just 1 week. 1 week. And if you're that attached to your problem, after 1 week you can go back. But if you do this for a week, you're going to shift in consciousness and your problem is going to dissipate. Now I know, and I want you to hear, I know that people sometimes go through things that are very, very, very challenging in their lives. And it's not always easy to turn that key. But now you have the key. Now you have the key. There are times when we're frightened. There are times when we're worried. Times when it can be hard to get your mind off the situation. But you can do it. You can do it. A statement of truth repeated. There is no power but God. I am a child of God. I am surrounded by love. I am this perfect expression of God's love. God is guiding me now. I'm surrounded by the light and the love of God. God within me is the love that I am. You pick something that resonates with you and stay with that and just be quiet. But be insistent. Be insistent. And if your mind wanders, the idea is here that you don't beat yourself up. Do not use your spiritual practice as another thing to beat yourself up with. Just gently and compassionately bring your awareness back. Oh yeah, I'm thinking about God instead. Just for a couple minutes. 2 minutes, I'm thinking about God instead. Now, good news here, you don't have to think about the solution. Yay! You're off the hook in that. This is not about outlining either, because that will just create delays. If you're trying to tell God, you know, if you could just tell this person over here to go across the street and talk to this person because he's got a car, and then have them go down and meet the neighbor on the corner because his cousin is the one that I need to meet. So if you'll just handle it that way, God. No, you don't do that. No, no. You don't have to figure the how out. I always like to say, and I say in class all the time, it's a nacho principle. How is nacho business? How is nacho business? Gotta have nachos somewhere. Right. Your intention is to be done with the difficulty, and the way that you're declaring that into the law and the universal mind is every time I think of the difficulty, what I do is change gears. I think about God instead. And if you do that, you do your part, I promise you, God, Spirit, infinite intelligence is going to be doing God's part, and you'll be living the life you came here to live. And so it is. do good works in our community and in the world. The givers are indeed blessed. We are blessed to have their consciousness here, for each of us is given the right and perfect gift. So in the Christ consciousness, I say, thank you, God, and so it is. Let's close with a treatment. And let's turn our attention inward for just a moment, remembering that right where we are, God is. That we are surrounded and filled with God's Spirit, God's presence, God's love. That God within us is the most true and real thing about each and every one of us. And so in this awareness of our connection with God and with each other, I speak the word for us, that whatever it is that's heavy on our heart today, we think about God instead. If we're concerned about a family member or a friend or some experience in the world, we think about God instead, reminding ourselves that God is the only presence, the only power, the only activity, the only love. So in this way, we are truly turning everything in our lives over to God, and turning it over to God again and again and again. That we're done with the obsessive thinking and the obsessive behavior that does not serve us in any way. That we are creating a channel within our hearts and our minds for God's love to flow abundantly in our lives. So we include in our prayer today our loved ones this morning. We know that they too are absolutely loved and blessed by God. We let our prayer be a blessing in the world around us so that whatever pulls at our attention, we affirm God's presence right there. We bless our church. We bless all churches everywhere. We bless synagogues and temples and mosques and ashrams, all paths to God. I'm absolutely certain that we are blessed and that our consciousness is uplifted by all of us being here together. And so with an open, gracious, grateful, and full heart, I release this word into God's perfect law, and together we say, and so it is. I invite you to stand, and we will first that I would like us to do, and then we will be singing Love is My Decision. Please repeat after me. I am home in the heart of God.
I am home in the heart of God.
My life is anchored in truth.
My life is anchored in truth.
I live in the consciousness of peace.
I live in the consciousness of peace.
I release all fear.
I release all fear.
Life is good.
Life is good.
And I'm good in it.
And I'm good in it.
Love is my decision.
Love.